Well, the weather's grim. No one's had a pay rise since 2008. And we've just learned that 2026 will peak with the news that travel to Birmingham will be slightly quicker within the next 50 years. At times like this, we could always comfort ourselves with the fact that if nothing else, we don't support Manchester City. But right now, the derby, as a United fan, has all the appeal of a night on the tiles in Tehran. We've all tried to block out the football, but when you've agreed to make a podcast, it's not really an option. So let's just get this over and done with. Andy and Murph are with me, and our esteemed guest is the very, very blue comedian, Smug Roberts.
Hey,
Smug, you've been a fan pre-oil, haven't you? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, bit of blue for it, lads.
I'm putting some applause in the background to see if it works. Can you hear it?
No, I didn't hear that.
It sounds like water coming down a drain pipe.
All right, well, I'll put a cheer in and everything. But
Bit like
United
United season, really.
Indeed.
Well, hello. We're starting early, are we?
Let's get in there.
We always try to make this have the atmosphere of a pub lock in this podcast. It sounds like we've already had a drink, doesn't it?
It's more like a hostage situation, to be fair.
Early doors.
But I feel quite warm next to this radiator, even though I'm chained to it.
What does a derby mean to you these days, Smug?
To me, well, I've got a lad that's a red, and he's 17. So his mother poisoned him when he was younger. And I wasn't alert enough because we were splitting up at the time. You know, them sort of issues aren't important, are they? You know, when they're taking the house off you. So, so he went to watch United the other night against Brighton with one of his friends. And, so United, the derby thing for me is, it's not what it used to be, obviously. Because you couldn't, I think because we don't go in pubs and start causing trouble with United fans and City fans, you know, arguing. I've got a friend called Louis, who run the miners in Moston. And his dad is 80, and he still goes in the pub after United beat City and gives it everybody. He's still good, and it's like, aye, you know, aye. Not laughing now, are you? Hey? And he still does it. And then he'll cause a fight, and then his get out line is, you did an old man, would you? You did an old man, would you? And that's Joe Beckett. God bless him. I'll get him to listen to this.
Mine is a put my glasses on now.
Yeah, there's a point to that as well, yeah.
Was that part of your match-going experience then, Smug?
I used to be a season ticket holder at the Kippax when I was a kid. And I went to watch the League Cup. I went to the League Cup final and ended up on the bus with Ellen the Bell. You could have done
Ellen Turner.
He couldn't even have sweets and make a mess. But my mate was an Alvin Stardust fan, and he there's a point to this. And he used to wear gloves with rings on. You know, like Alvin Stardust. If you don't know who Alvin Stardust is, by the way, all you youngsters, he was a pop star that sort of modelled himself on Elvis a little bit, I think. But he used to wear all leather and gloves. And to cut a long story short, this idiot mate of mine, Simon Brown, we went to Wembley, the old Wembley, obviously. And we're playing Newcastle, weren't we? And he didn't tell us he'd lost his ticket. And it was because he kept putting his hands in his pocket with the gloves on.
Did he get in?
We had to have a whip round for him. We had a whip round, and it cost us £7 between us to get another ticket. That's how long ago it was.
76, that's expensive.
The jammy bastard ended up at the Royal Box. And we were...
What, just because of the gloves?
Yeah. But that was my City Wembley story. But then obviously, as a kid, and I still do feel like this, just to get a little bit empathy off the United fans, still, when I used to get the pink, I always used to underline where City were and United. And I've always had a thing that I'd rather United won it than anybody else if we didn't. That's always been a thing with me all the way through. I'd rather United won the FA Cup if we didn't win it. I don't mean literally beat us, but I've always had that in a Manchester thing. I think it is, but I'm the son of a preacher man. My dad's a Pentecostal minister, so I think God works his magic on me.
It's always been apparent, hasn't it? From your act.
Yeah. So I'm very generous like that. But obviously, when we play United, then I want them to get stuffed and stuff. But I used to love I used to love the build up to it. One of my first gigs on telly, the very first gig was remember Elton Wells? We doing that what's it called? Kick-off, I think it was called.
Yeah. Kick-off Friday nights, yeah.
Yeah, and I did that. That was the first TV thing I ever did. And I was on with Steve Bruce and what was he called? The City captain Curry, was it?
Keith Curle.
Keith Curle.
Keith Curle, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
you played. Yeah. And they rang in, and it sounded like they were in the same bedroom because nobody introduced it. So I went, my first thing on telly that was ever worth anything for a laugh was I said, how long have you and Steve been living together? And then everybody got, I was so proud. It was the proudest moment of my life because now I realise if you make the cameramen laugh, then you're doing all right. Well, that was, yeah, so, but it was a big deal. A massive, I mean, one of my biggest, proudest moments was getting on Match of the Day. You know, they put me and Mick Ferry, another comedian friend of mine, and they put us on, you know, like they do that have a little interview with you and then show it at the match. And I run a kids' football team, and it's the most surprised and proudest they've ever been of me because I was on Match of the Day doing an interview as City versus United, a bit similar like we're doing now. So, yeah, bring it on. It's always a good day. My ambition is to take me and my lad go and watch the City United game. That's what I need to sort out now.
And is he regretting that decision?
Not at all, no, he's horrible. Yeah, he does it to wind me up now. I think it used to be gloating 20 years ago because we had nothing going for us, you know, other than a couple of cup wins, did we, and stuff like that.
And it did.
And it didn't stop. But I always felt a bit guilty, to be honest, though, when Chelsea got all that money years ago, and I used to slag it off big time, you know, the buying success, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden we had a load of money. And I kind of like, there isn't the answer to your question, but I'm just going off on one there, but the answer to your question, there isn't a lot of difference. It's Manchester born and bred, you know, and if you get one over on your mate one day, he'll get one over you next time. Like we were expected to win the FA Cup, weren't we? And you turned us over and played really well. But I don't think there's any major characteristic differences between us.
Have you down the years used a lot of that? Have you drawn a lot of that in your comedy, do you think? Or do you tend to avoid it because it's too...
I think one of the main things I took from football is when I first started, I was 35. So one of the main things I took from football banter is dealing with hecklers. Because there's nothing worse. Nothing can come at me that's not been said to me in a dressing room that's really bad. You know, like when you go in the dressing room and you got to get, back in the day at ICI, when I played for ICI, I had to get in a bath with 22 other blokes. You know what I mean? If you can't handle that, you know.
What was the opposition team in there as well?
Well, we like to.
It's a lot of soap, that, isn't it?
Come on, ref.
I've just thought of something.
You're thinking about really.
I did a soccer school at ICI in Blakely before it, you know, shut down and stuff with Len Cantello. You remember Len, don't you? From West Brom, Len. And we had run this soccer school. And when we got there, we had some teachers brought some kids down for the soccer school. Went in the dressing room where they were, and the teacher come out and he went, "Excuse me, but we don't mind saying that, but there's some poo in the dressing room." And he went, and Len went, "Oh, that'll be the cat." And he went, "What is it, a Bengal?" And it was like, I shouldn't even be talking about this on air, but you know what I mean? He went, "What?" The teacher went, "What is it, a Bengal?" But that was back in the day. And also, I got to know Remy Moses and Brian Robson through Len, because we did sports and dinners together and stuff, and he was obviously good mates with them as well. So there's always been a crossover. And also, after old Hand on Heart, one of my friends at school was Alan Davis.
Yeah.
And it's and obviously he was back in the news this week because of the role that he played in the original game at Wembley and then in the replay. Because I remember it's clear as a bell that Ashley Grimes was injured, Laurie Cunningham was injured, and Ron Atkinson picked Alan to play in the cup final, which was right out of the blue. And then the following weekend, they played for Wales against Brazil. So it was like, in our lives, that was like the biggest and best thing ever for something to happen to a local lad from Blakely, from North Manchester Boys, to be playing in a cup final. So it brought back kind of mixed memories of the United-Brighton game this week. But it just shows you, you know, like, and so there was Alan, and there was Len Cancelo that were friends of mine. But you get an insight into towards professional football.
Yeah, you taught me. You coached me briefly as well when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, I remember. Was it in Moston?
No, Aslington Sports Centre.
Oh God, yeah, Aslington Sports Centre. That's
The
many
Wilkie
moons
soccer
ago.
schools. Yeah.
Did you pay your subs?
Yeah, of course I did, mate. Yeah, and I bought you a pint afterwards as well. But Murph wanted to ask you more about our parade.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I just remember our play when I used to go down when I was a kid with my mum on the bus and used to get to 112 and Stratford Road and go all the way there. Do you ever see the stalls there selling the snide tashinis and the snide kappas that were all the rage in the mid-1980s?
We had the stall we went to was the one that everybody knew you as a POV because they used to put string through the shoes to join them together. So you didn't have odd shoes, on the stall. And the ones that were a proper rip-off that made you cry your eyes out if your mum bought you a pair, they were called Nick. They weren't called Nike. They were called Nicks.
I remember them. There's a Winfield stall, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Nick, there was a kind of a seconds stall on Conway Street Market. Because I used to work for my mate's dad on Conway Street Market, setting stalls up, and I worked for the Lowrys as well on the fruit and veg bit at the end. So Conway Street Market was a big deal for me, and also I lived around that way when I was younger as well. But yeah, that was the worst thing because a friend of mine from school, his dad sprayed his Dunlop Green Flash brown to make them look like shoes. But he was the hardest lad in school, so nobody could set the piss out of him. I do an actual routine about it. Like, imagine your dad spraying your white Dunlop Green Flash. I used to joke about it and say, my dad used to make me wear what they called what's got the army surplus place.
On Oldham Street or
High Tech.
He used to get me a plain white t-shirt and put 3 felt tip Adidas stripes on the side. That was the gag that I used to follow that story about my mate. And my mate burnt his shoes. My mate burnt his shoes. He come round to our house and we used to have one of them Calagas fires. Tell you what, I feel so old telling these stories. But it was a tall Calagas fire. And he fell asleep with his heels on the fire and burnt them. And his dad thought he'd done it on purpose to get rid of them. We used to wag it. We used to walk from North Manchester Boys through Boggart Old Club to our house and then back again after dinner. Oh, God, it makes me proper reminisce there now.
Been up.
I know. We were that poor.
The 4 Yorkshiremen now.
Yeah, we were that poor. That the mice used to throw themselves on the mouse traps.
If you've got any more material for Smug, get in touch. creamofmanchester1878@gmail.com. You will find us on all the social media, all of them. And thanks for your correspondence so far, some of which we will answer in due time, I promise. Social media is not something Grandad Roberts would entertain, is it?
Well, he would, but it'd be proper dodgy. He'd definitely be cancelled, wouldn't he? That's for sure.
Have you got any plans for it?
Well, I've wanted to do for a long time, and we still sort of know whether we can do it or not, is to marry Grandad off with some woman who, I always wanted to get someone like Jordan to do it, Katie Price, to play a woman that's after his money. In that Nicole, what's she called, that one who married the 90-year-old billionaire? What's she called, Nicole?
I can't remember.
Do you know what I mean? Help me, lads.
I do. The old. He was 84 and he was an oil guy.
And she married him because she loved him. But anyway.
So
the point is, the idea is that this woman finds out that Grandad's got a bit pop music money stashed away, and that she tries to get the money off him. That's the idea we're working on, whether it comes to fruition or not. But we fancy taking it around as a top table wedding. We're having my mates as guests. And I'd love someone like John Henshaw to play her dad or something, or, like do it as a gig. That's the plan. Anyway, so if we do it or not, that'd be...
He's a good mate of yours, isn't he? And he'd be great at, he'd deliver the speech perfectly, wouldn't he?
That'd be perfect. And they could have local celebs and all that in it, can't you? Pretending they know Grandad or whatever. We'd have to do it at Oldham, wouldn't we? Have a reception at Oldham. That'd be good.
Yeah. You had put them on the map there. But that world of meat pie sausage rolls really sort of disappearing from football altogether, isn't it?
Well, it's kind of back in the day when it was, when a I used to love taking the kids from the soccer schools to Oldham when it was AstroTurf, and they could say they played at a proper football ground, you know. I mean, it wasn't the best pitch in the world, as you remember. It was an awful pitch, but it was before G4G, whatever it is now. That's a lot better. We used to come on with. I tell you the other one. You remember this, lads? The Newton Heath pitch. When that was first built, that was like playing on glass.
Sorry, are you on about Bank Street, Clayton, or North Road?
1878.
North Road. It was like the worst. Back in the day, AstroTurfs were the worst thing ever. Absolutely horrendous. You'd have to wear your skateboarding gear.
I remember Hardwick pits in the 80s.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean, don't you, lads? The Newton Heath pitch, AstroTurf. You know, don't you remember it?
No, we're most South Manchester, us. We'd
Yeah,
be breaking the pits. We'd be a brave move doing a slide tackle on those things because you're not your legs.
But it was nice to play at Oldham and say you played at Oldham and all that, you know. And also the biggest thing me and Archie Kelly did, they let us go to a match at Oldham, and it was when Bruce Grobbelaar was the keeper for a couple of weeks, but he never turned up. And so we went on the pitch and they let me take a penalty and wear Andy Ritchie's boots as granddad. It was when Andy was still the manager. And that was really good because they were all singing Meat Pie Sausage Roll and stuff, and it just took off. My biggest claim to fame was that I came up with this T-shirt. The story was that Warner Brothers rang us up and offered us a contract. Said, will you do Meat Pie Sausage Roll, come on England, give us a go, you know, for the European Championship.
Which he did.
So I went, no. So I went, oh, I don't know really, you know, I'm a bit of an artist. I think it might, you know, it might compromise my integrity. And they went, we'll give you 30 grand. I said, yeah, we'll do it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So me and Archie got 15 grand each, and that's when we were able to go full time doing the comedy.
Yeah, even though it was in Greg's vouchers.
It was Greg's vouchers, yeah. Yeah, so that was all good, all that Meat Pie Sausage Roll stuff. Going to London with Cleopatra coming at you to sign on for Warner Brothers, living the dream. I'm telling you, she'd write a book. No, we weren't that big then.
Second class.
But it was still worth it going down to dressed as Grandad and Elvis, going into the boardroom at Warner Brothers in London. And Archie going, yeah, right. And me going, yeah, all right, everybody, how you doing? And all that. But it was, certainly. And then they put my head on the front page of the Star, coming out of a pie. And that's time I saw Jed, I think. Jed rang me up, that a friend of ours, a mutual friend, I'll have to explain who he is, someone I met in Canada that you know as well. He came to our house the day that it came out, the newspaper, with my head coming out of a pie. And that's what kicked it all in, really, for the getting the record deal and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, happy days. And we were rubbish at football as well. City were really bad then. We had nothing to cheer about, so it was good the football meat pie thing came along instead. Archie's a City fan as well, God bless him. We stopped.
Yeah.
I can't hear you, mate.
Cancer's gone.
What's that like?
Oh, got you now.
You're back.
I think I've inadvertently pressed the button, and this is what you get for lending your mic out to people and not getting it back.
See, for the YCS, though, you're doing all right.
It's his first gig, this.
Hey, Smug, I got you from it. You succeeded. Am I right in thinking you succeeded Bernard Manning at the world famous Embassy Club? Is that right?
Yeah, what happened was Bernard decided to retire, and obviously I know young Bernard, and he said, "You fancy putting on like an alternative comedy night?" So we put on the likes of Johnny Vegas, Peter Kay, Mick Ferry, all those kind of acts, and then it got along so short, didn't work out, but it was a good experience doing it though.
And that was actually in the Embassy clubs.
Yeah. I went to Bernard's, and he used to call me Andy Pandy when I was a kid, because I used to go around with young Bernard, and I went to his house and I went, "Who's that woman there?" And he went, "Who's that woman?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know her." And he went, "Hang on, you're taking over the world famous Embassy Club, and your claim to fame is that you know my cleaner." So, well, yeah, pretty much.
Well, you opened the Comedy Store with Bernard Wright on, or John Thompson.
That was a big deal, that, because it was when I first started going from sort of middle spot to headlining, and then when Don Ward opened the Comedy Store, he wanted a Manchester local act, and he asked me to do it, and I was on with obviously John Thompson, Right on Bernard, Julian Clary, Paul Merton, all that. And I was like shitting my pants, to be fair. And I'd ended up doing the opening night, which kind of propelled me into doing other stuff. You never know what's going to happen, as you know. That's the night when the casting agent was in from 24 Hour Party People. So I got a phone call the next day asking if I fancied being in that as well. And I got a little cameo role in that. And then ended up getting an agent because I knew Sally Lindsay. She was doing stand-up at the time. Sally Lindsay's used to be in Coronation Street.
No relation.
No relation.
Yeah,
She was
unfortunately.
also,
Yeah, so
in
it's
St.
all-
Winifred's choir as well.
The what, sorry?
She was in St. Winifred's school choir as well. You don't know when.
Yeah,
like
she was
Grandma,
one of that. Well, funny enough, wasn't it Grandad as well, that one?
I don't know.
Grandad, we love you, wasn't it that?
And she's a City fan.
Is she?
Yeah, well,
She
all
is
the
a
good
City
ones
fan.
are.
Bloody hell. But how has it changed in that time? Manchester comedy's changed a fair bit, hasn't it? I mean, what's it like gigging? The last time I saw you like socially, I think you was out with, or one of the last times you was out with Mick Ferry. But I mean, is it easy to get gigs in town? Is it good? Are there good comedians coming through?
There's good coming through. There's loads of good comics coming through. It's a totally different ball game now. The circuit's changed completely. It's gone a little bit like it was in America 20, 30 years ago, where there's quite a few gigs but not paying loads of money. So you have to diversify if you've got a family to feed and rent to pay. So, but there are loads of, I mean, when I first started out, there was the Frog and Bucket and the Buzz Club in Charlton. That was it. And you did the Frog, and then if you did the Buzz Club, that gave you an opportunity to blag a bit and get a gig away from home. But now, there's so many gigs, little gigs. And then Hot Water Comedy in Liverpool, they've exploded. Lots of really good independent lads doing it. The company called like Laughing, they're doing gigs. Like called Jacko, he's good. Yeah, and it's changed a bit as well. And also, I don't know what the word is. It's more inclusive. That's a good thing. I mean, when I started out in comedy, it was probably like if you were lucky if you got one lady on the bill, one woman or whatever, then that you're lucky if you got that. But now it's much more diversified and just different types of people being funny. So that's where it's at. But the money's rubbish.
If you're out doing a gig or you're out anywhere like that, is there football talk there? Do you come across other...
Always, yeah,
Although-
always doing the banter with the football as well. Like me and Mick are always bouncing off one another about United and City because he's a big red. And I think, like I said before, the banter in the dressing room is pretty much the same as a football dressing room. You know, you're all together. You've all got to go out in front of the crowd. You're all kind of willing one another to do well. So I think there's a lot of comparisons. It's almost, I also liken stand-up to being a teacher. You know, when you go in a classroom for the first time and you've got to impress the class or else you're dead on your feet for the rest of your career. It's a bit like that in comedy as well, where you don't get a second chance to make a first impression there. You know, you've got to know what you're doing. But it seems really, it seems really, really healthy though. The Manchester Northwest comedy scene and beyond. And also, me and you would never have envisaged Peter Kay selling out 100 gigs, 15, 20,000 people a night, would we? When we first saw him at the Frog and Bucket in 96, 97, whatever it was. It's changed to a massive extent.
Back then, who would have thought? I remember Justin Morehouse had an act. Did he used to have a wig on? And I remember he was, if I ever went down there in the late 90s, he would have been the one who probably stood out with that. It was very different.
Yeah. Well, it was the Frog and Bucket was, the little Frog and Bucket, as we used to call it, was on Oldham Street, not Oldham Street, and around the corner from where it is now. And that was a training ground for all of us, and everybody did it. Like, even the comics like Dave Gorman and Martin Big Pig and all them guys, they all did that Little Frog. And then what happened was he got the Yates's Blob Shop on the corner and turned it into a proper comedy club where it was a big stage and a bigger audience. And that was the best thing that happened for us because it helped us to develop into better comedians and doing better gigs. Incidentally, I have got a plug. I'm doing a 3 decades of comedy exhibition at the Frog and Bucket on May the 17th. And I'm also doing a show afterwards, a one-man show. So that's May the 17th at the Frog this year.
There you
Just
go.
remembered that.
Put that in the diary.
Put that in the diary.
Plug Roberts.
Smug Roberts.
Yeah.
So to finish off, then go on.
But if you want, you can send me the money you're going to pay me, and you can set that plug out. It's up to you.
Either way, yeah. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do what I do with the Manchester Evening News articles online, and I'll accept cookies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? What's going to happen this weekend, Smug?
The kids' football's be happening.
No, I don't mean the United first 11.
No. I think you could go either way, couldn't it? We could batter you, or you'll beat us. It's a really heads or tails, isn't it, with United? No, you know what I mean. There's no kind of in between.
Thanks very much, Gary Neville.
But I think the odds are, and I don't get what they're doing with this. Why they didn't? You'd still be in the FA Cup if they've had the bollocks to put him in the job he's got now, instead of putting Fletcher in. You know, that's what should have happened. They should have gone, right, he's in straight away. None of this 2-game nonsense that you've just had to endure. You'd still be in the FA Cup. You still have a chance of winning something. But I just think, I like the whole thing. It's been a bit of a shit show, hasn't it? It's not been managed well. But I think this weekend, my lad reckons United are going to win, which he's going to say anyway. But I wouldn't put money on United to lose. I think they've got a chance of winning it, just on that new impetus of having something to prove.
Yeah, good luck.
But are you not, as United fans, nervous? You must be nervous.
Not really.
What's going on?
There's more sense of.
No, it's nothing to lose now, isn't it? Yeah, it's like a free hit.
Yeah.
Lowest amount of games for more than 100 years since the First World War that United.
I read that 40 games or something.
Yeah, 40 or 42 games or something like that. So it's unbelievable. So minging. But
how do you feel about it? How do you feel about it yourself? What's your gut feeling?
Resigned.
Just resigned to it.
And
we knew at the beginning of the season it's going to be hard. It's been garbage the last 2 seasons previous, so we knew it wasn't going to be brilliant. But I mean, I thought United might have beaten Grimsby in the League Cup, but obviously they didn't.
That was odd. That was odd, wasn't it? That was one of the things I noticed very much. That was the start of the real decline. Was when he had his hands in his heads when you were checking the penalties.
Yeah,
I couldn't get my head around that.
He does that even in play in a match day, he won't look at it, or he's got, like you say, he's got his hands in his hands, and that's just, you could be 3-0 up or something. And
you were never a fan though, anyway, were you, Andy? I think we were more optimistic than you were. You never liked him anyway.
Well,
I never liked him, unfortunately. I said it to anybody who'd listened to me. I just didn't think he was the man. But there you go.
But you know what is the thing now though, and it's almost like they're messing about with the share price by putting new man. I'm being serious. When you have a new manager put in, say you'd managed to get a top-rate manager this week, the share price would have tripled, wouldn't it, or whatever it does. But now it's that short-term thing, that short-term fix, where they know that if they get rid of a manager, because it's all about the money and the PLC and all that, that's why they're shopping managers with no real plan of action. Because he's next at Tottenham, isn't he? Celtic's gone.
Well,
Celtic's gone.
I think we'll get some Gareth Southgate in the summer, so there's nothing to worry about.
God, Bennett. Even my lad said that.
Sir Gareth Southgate. Sir Gareth.
Sir Gareth now, is it?
Yeah, apparently
just
so.
a quick.
That's what you get. That's what you get for missing penalties and advertising pizza, isn't it? You get a United job.
Just a quick one. I was at the Leeds game last week, and I was with a lad who was at the Celtic game the day before and at the Leeds game. So he managed to be at 2 games in 2 days, and then see both managers sacked the following day.
Good. What's his name?
What a cheerful note.
He's got a dog called Lucky.
Yeah. Lads, thank you very much for that. It's I'm sure, a unique preview of the derby that contained very little football, which is exactly what we're all about. And if you've got anything else you want to cheer us up with, find us on the socials or email creamofmanchester8@gmail.com. Don't forget Smug's show on May the 17th at the Frog and Bucket.
You're more than welcome. I might even sort you some free tickets out, lads.
Look at that.
Now we're talking.
Because you definitely won't be doing anything round about May, will you?
It's not cup final day, is it, Smug?
Oh, well, it might be.
Always consult the fixture list.
No, not anymore. No.
So that.
Can we just before we go quickly? How can you be offside from a corner?
Well, you can't.
You can't be, can you? What was all that about?
Oh,
That was early down last night.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
What?
You've got to watch that. I'm telling you now, even as United fans, you've got to watch that and go, what the...
I saw the end of it.
I won't say
Jason,
anything else. Have a look at it.
I saw it last night as a joke. But the same thing happened to Johnny Evans a couple of years back.
You can't be offside from the corner. It don't matter what you say. It's ridiculous. Yeah, and then, but you know what I do hate as well? Pep coming on talking like a young kid or like he's he's dead fit.
Has he started doing impressions or something?
No, he has. He does this now. Have you not noticed this? He does this. He does this. He goes, yeah, I am so good looking. You would not believe it. I am so sexy. Oh, no, and it just drives me mental. Sorry, I had to mention it.
Smug, have you been falling for AI?
Yeah.
Someone sending you stuff that didn't really happen.
I'm telling you, watch him now. Said that. I love me. Can't be doing with it.
Right. Well, I'm going to go and Google that.
Yeah, Google it.
Everyone else, get your tickets for Frog and Bucket on May the 17th.
Since he became single and left his wife, he started putting himself out there. I'm telling you.
We'll check my diary, make sure I'm free that day.
I presume it's over 18s only, yeah?
Over 18s, yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing to do with anything we've just mentioned, except that I think that'll rule out most of United's 11 for this weekend. So all the best to you, and mind the trams.
I'll mind the trams, don't you worry.